Welcome to the show. I'm Danella, and here's what's happening now. Rest in peace to the old Kanye West and praying for current Kanye. That's what many of his fans are saying after his most recent rant.
You hear about slavery for 400 years? For 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all?
And it's got people questioning his mental health. He says he's never been better, but questions remain. And in fact, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We must fight the stigma. We must educate ourselves as well as support those dealing with mental illness, as well as support their families. And so in today's show, we're going to talk about hashtag 4Mind 4Body Challenge, promoting small changes you can do every day to improve your mental as well as physical well-being. So we'll get into that. Also, I'll talk to you about what is going on in the world this week. Lots going on. But first, we're going to just start with political pop. Here is your political pop for Friday, May 4th. Trump is being sued by Stormy Daniels. I don't know if you're following this. Here's the latest. So, Stormy is suing Trump for defamation. Here's why. He's dissed her in some tweets. And so she's saying, hey, I'm telling the truth. I'm not delusional or crazy or lying, and you're defaming me. So she's suing him. And remember, this is the other big thing that came out in reference to Stormy, is now you have New York former mayor Rudy Giuliani, now Trump's lawyer, one of his many lawyers, coming out and saying that Trump actually paid Michael Cohen, his lawyer, back for paying Stormy Daniels $130,000 in hush money. So first Trump says, no, she's lying. I don't know of such a payment. But now Giuliani's saying, yeah, there was a payment and everything's fine, totally legal. And you totally should forget the lie that he said before and that he never paid this woman any money. Okay, that's not what he said, but I feel like that's what you're saying now, because he definitely said he was unaware of the payment. Well, yeah, so now there is a payment and it's all good, according to Giuliani. I swear this is the worst soap opera to watch. This should be called Days in Our Lies or Days of Lies. You get the picture. It's a lot of days and a lot of lies. I'm Danella Sealock, and that was your political pop. Now, this week, the CDC announces an outbreak in E. coli. So far, it's tied to romaine lettuce and has killed one person in California. They say that it affects 25 states. And so far, California has the most number of cases with 24. They also say that's followed by Pennsylvania, 20 people affected there. And in Idaho, 11 people were affected. But so far, unfortunately, one person has died in California. So here's what the CDC is saying. They're saying that the infections have hospitalized 52 people, including 14 who have received a type of kidney failure. This is serious. Let's talk about some of the numbers in a little more detail. They say that California, they topped the list with the most people affected. 24 people, followed by Pennsylvania. They have 20 people affected, and Idaho, 11. But again, 25 states are reporting cases of E. coli. They say symptoms include diarrhea, stomach cramps, and vomiting. They say once you're infected, people are seeing signs within 2 to 8 days after swallowing the germ. And although most recover in 1 week, it could lead to kidney failure. But how can you prevent it? Well, the obvious, thoroughly cooking your meats, wash thoroughly your fruits and vegetables, and also avoid raw milk. And don't prepare food when you're sick. Sounds like a no-brainer, but think about it. A lot of people are busy or working moms and dads. You might feel ill and then you still want to make food for your family. Don't do it. You want to show up to work and make that extra money. You're not feeling well. Don't do it. And this is reminding me of something that I actually heard. I meant to put this out on Instagram or something. I just didn't. I didn't do it, but literally something you never want to hear in a restaurant. And this is a true story. Something you never want to hear in a restaurant. You know, we're in a restaurant, I'm waiting for my food, and the server is speaking to another server, and he's like, ugh, my stomach hurts. Ugh, I don't know what's wrong. And I'm thinking, that's exactly what you never want to hear while you're waiting for your food. My stomach hurts. So listen, if this is you, don't show up to work. Take a sick day. Get yourself well, just to make sure you're not infecting others. Speaking of which, we're going to cover 3 surprising things that you should avoid when eating out. And this is according to a food poisoning expert. Literally, this guy studies food poisoning cases. So he came out with a list, and I'm going to give you the top 3 things that are shocking that he says to avoid. His name is Bill Marler. And in your mind, obviously, you're going to think, what? Rare meat, be careful of seafood. Those things, yeah, top of mind. But listen to this. Above that list, yeah, here's what he says. First on the list, I'm giving the top 3. Shocking to me. Salads. Yes. He says, in fact, I'd eat sushi before I ate a salad. Now that's serious. He would eat sushi before he eats a salad. He says, I wouldn't eat sushi at a 7-Eleven, but I've eaten sushi at a good sushi restaurant. But salads, and here's why he said he avoids salads. He says because all of the parts are raw and they're all touching each other. It's a greater risk of E. coli contamination because everything is raw and there's so much mixed in it. It makes sense if you think about it. Because in your mind, you're thinking, oh, it's a salad, it's fresh, it's healthy. Plus, we're a plant-based family, so that's what I think often. He says avoid it. Here's another one that's shocking. Soft serve ice cream. Especially in the summer, I am shocked to hear this. He said this is why. Those machines that pump out the ice cream, they've been known to trap mold inside, making people sick. He says, in fact, it can be a huge problem, especially when workers aren't following safety guidelines. He says, you never know, so avoid it. And I can tell you a true story that happened to us. I had no idea. We were actually this past summer at a street festival, and we got soft serve ice cream. And my son, he took one little lick of the ice cream and then broke out into hives immediately, face and hives. And so now we're a year later, and we were really trying to figure out, I thought for so long it was milk, right? And so I tested his allergies. You know, I don't know if you have allergies, are an adult, or you have a child, ask your physician about the allergy test that they can do by blood. It's amazing. One little prick and they can tell you all the allergies that you have. So his actual cow milk allergy was so slight, barely any, but he has a high mold allergy. So now we know that's why he broke out into hives, is because of the mold. And I guess because we're older, we're so used to it. We had no idea. I mean, in general, we don't drink milk. We don't buy milk. We took a risk and now never again. So heads up. Here's number 3, raw sprouts. Again, shocking. Here's what he says. He says, there have been too many outbreaks to not pay attention to the risk of sprout contamination. According to Marler, he says, those are products that I just don't eat at all. Ugh, so interesting, right? I would have never thought of those things on the list. Naturally, I do think, rare meat, if we ate meat, definitely, seafood, shellfish, you think that. But I never really thought about salad, soft serve, and raw sprouts. All right, also in the news this week, we're going to head over to something else that's causing a little bit of a stir. People do not like change. So you heard about the Boy Scouts of America changing their name and also admitting girls. So already Cub Scouts have already started to admit girls. Now Boy Scouts are changing their name as well as admitting girls. Girls will come in February, but here's the name change. The new name will be Scouts BSA. The program will accept juveniles age 11 through 17, whether they're boys or girls. And I wonder how the Girl Scouts are feeling. If they're wondered at all if that will reduce their amount of their admissions. All I'm saying is this: whatever you do, keep your crack cookies coming, Girl Scouts. I do not want to ever buy these cookies. I swear they're just it's a love-hate relationship. And now, they're not really supposed to knock at the doors. So you go to the grocery store and you're not safe. I know you see them. They're so cute. And they have their little signs. They made their signs. Got glitter, sparkles. You just want to run to the store, just want to grab your groceries. And the next thing you know, crack in a box. Want to buy some of our Girl Scout cookies? Cute little faces. Keep that coming. All right, so whatever y'all got to do, as much as I don't want that to happen, just keep that coming. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. But seriously, why are folks so frustrated that the Boy Scouts changed their name? I don't know. Interesting. I don't have a daughter, so I don't know if I were to put her in Scouts or not. I do think, though, maybe in about, 20 years or so, we look back on this, it would just say, it wouldn't make sense, People would just say, oh, it's just like a community center. For example, if you go to a community center, boys are playing with girls, nothing is separated. So maybe years and years from now, it won't mean the same, as shocking or as newsworthy. And I know others are thinking, why not keep it separate? Boys can have Boy Scouts, girls could have Girl Scouts, but now you have a lot of youth, gender non-conforming, and they need a safe space. And you don't want to alienate anyone. And that's what Boy Scouts of America is saying. So soon, as in February, no longer call Boy Scouts, they will be Scouts, BSA. And now let's get into In Our World. In Our World this week, we're talking about hashtag 4Mind4Body Challenge to make small changes in your overall physical and mental health. When I saw this, really interesting. This was on the mentalhealthamerica.net website. When I saw this, I thought this is just an amazing way to kick off May, and also an amazing way to just actively put change into your life in a physical way. Because what makes mental illness so debilitating is that, one, it's internal in your mind, but it completely physically manifests itself in your day-to-day. And so 4Mind4Body Challenge, the reason why I loved it so much is every day they put out a challenge that you can do physically to help improve your mental state as well as your physical state. So first, it's important to note that the CDC says that 50% of all Americans are diagnosed with a mental illness at some point in their lives. 50% at some point in their life. And so when you hear something like that, you think, but why is there still a stigma when it is so frequent? So many people are dealing with it. So Mental Health America, they're behind this challenge. So I'm going to highlight a couple days that I thought were really cool. So their Wednesday is hashtag Workplace Wednesday, promoting health in the workplace. And you think about it, so many people hate going to work. They also have Thoughtful Thursday. That particular day, you do something such as hold the door open for somebody or pay a toll for somebody. And that is something that I can say helps me too when I'm struggling with sadness, is doing something thoughtful or considerate for somebody else. And let's move on to Saturday, Stress-Free Saturday. This is my favorite. It should be Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Anyway, it's Stress-Free Saturday. So I just wanted to shed light on this beautiful movement that they're doing. I love it. Again, it's 4Mind4Body Challenge. For more info, www.mentalhealthamerica.net. As a community, we have to educate ourselves. We have to work to remove this stigma. We have to work to support those affected by mental illness and their families. And that's why I love this challenge. Even if you're not dealing with mental illness, you could just be dealing with stress. Stress is, please, life, let's be real, super stressful, right? And so each day they encourage you to do something positive, but in an action. And it's often, especially when you're dealing with stress, you could either completely ignore it and then explode, or you can get trapped in just your mind. And this challenge really is designed to get you into a awareness, conscious state of being, and to get you from mental to physical in a positive way. And so please, let's end suffering in silence. As always, you can email me, Danella@DanellaNOW.com. On social media, all platforms, DanellaNOW. As always, thank you so much for joining the show. Have an incredible weekend, and I will see you next week.